The Prime Minister has rejected criticism over his relationship with former Qantas boss Alan Joyce. It was revealed Anthony Albanese was given at least 22 free flight upgrades worth tens of thousands of dollars. Mr Albanese maintains he did nothing wrong, as he insists they were declared.
From time to time, members of Parliament receive upgrades. What's important is that they are declared. All of mine have been declared.
Mr Albanese confirmed 10 flights were paid for by the Australian Labor Party. Nationals MP Barnaby Joyce has told Sky News he's not impressed by the Prime Minister accepting an upgrade multiple times.
I think the issue is it's not one or two, it's something like 22. So he seems to have made it sort of a ritual of his job. It seems to be very much a repeat performance, and I suppose he's really making it difficult for the Labor Party, isn't he? That's the biggest thing I can say. It's almost like he doesn't want them to win the election.
Joining me live is Assistant Immigration Minister Matt Thistlethwaite. Matt, thanks for your time this morning. I'm guessing your constituents could only dream of being upgraded on an international flight to business or first class. Was it appropriate for Anthony Albanese as Transport Minister in and out of government to solicit international flight upgrades from the Qantas CEO for himself and his family for private travel?
Good morning, Kenny. As the Prime Minister said, the important thing is that all of the upgrades were disclosed in accordance with the relevant regulations, and they're all on the public record. That anyone could look up the members' interests that are on the parliamentary website and see that. Every MP that receives a flight upgrade or a gift above a certain value must disclose that on the Register of Members' Interests. And the Prime Minister's complied with that, as have other MPs that have received upgrades.
Do you think it would pass the pub test, though, in Kingsford Smith?
I think the important thing, Kenny, is to realise that the Prime Minister's been in Parliament for close to 30 years. And a lot of that time, he's been the Labor Party spokesperson on transport and infrastructure. So he's developed a close working relationship with not only Qantas, but with Virgin and other competitors. The important thing is that the Labor Party is committed to increasing competition in our aviation sector with the release of the recent white paper. We're going to appoint an ombudsman. We're looking at what we can do to provide recompense for customers where there's flight delays and cancellations.
Yeah, okay.
The slot management scheme, changes at Sydney Airport, all this is
what I
aimed
want to
at
ask, Matt,
introducing more competition.
Is it appropriate for the PM personally to seek additional Chairman's Club membership for his son from the CEO when his current partner was already a +1? Was his son his +2, and does that pass the pub test?
Well, I think he's the Prime Minister. What we need to realise is this is an invitation that's put out by Qantas and indeed Virgin and other airlines. They invite MPs and other Australians to be members of their associations and their lounges, and it's up to the MP whether or not they accept those invitations.
Well,
so
he did.
They're invitations that come from the airlines.
Are you confident these free upgrades and Anthony Albanese's cosy relationship with the former Qantas boss was not the reason Qantas competitor Qatar was denied dozens of flights into the East Coast last year?
Yeah, we've always acted in what's in Australia's national interest in the aviation sector. And I think you could see in the reforms that we've introduced recently around the aviation white paper, in terms of Sydney Airport, we've introduced some changes around slot management to increase competition. Western Sydney Airport opens in a couple of years. That will provide further opportunities for competition. All of this has been aimed at ensuring that customers get a better deal. And that's the focus of the government, ensuring that customers get a better deal in aviation.
Okay. Labor lost the Queensland election. Is there any lessons there for Anthony Albanese and federal Labor? Should you be worried that Labor is a bit on the nose in Queensland with voters 6 months out from a federal election?
I think the major factor in Queensland was time. Labor had been in for 3 successive terms. These things tend to go in cycles, and the Queensland voters decided it was time for a change. There's no doubt lessons in every election, and we'll look at the results, not only in individual seats, but across the board there. I think the cost of living paid a huge issue, and that's why the federal government has been introducing all of the changes that we've made to assist Australians with cost of living, like tax cuts, energy rebates, cheaper medicines, making childcare more affordable. The coalition's voted against all of those measures, and they don't have an alternate plan. And I think that that's going to be their problem leading up to the federal election. Labor's got a clear plan to help Australians with cost of living. I'm not aware of any policies from the coalition that are aimed at assisting Australians with the cost of living pressure they're feeling.